Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a video on the knives I brought home from Blade Show 2018. Now, these are not knives that I purchased. None of these knives belong to me. These knives were all loaned to me by some very generous friends, and I wanted to use this opportunity to say thank you to all of them, but also sort of describe the experiences that I had with each of them. So we're just going to work our way down the line here, starting with this awesome Koenig Arius. Now, I own a Koenig Arius over here. I actually have a second Koenig Arius in process right now with Bill. And so it was great to see these knives. I got to go over to his table to meet him and his sister Krista in person, talk to them about what's going on at the company, handle the Mini Goblin, which is a fantastic knife, by the way, and handle some of the special Ariuses or Arii that he had over there, including this one. And my good buddy Nico, who goes by Today's Grail, Tomorrow's Beater, really wanted this knife, so I was able to pick this up for him because he's a close friend of mine, and it just happened to work out that way. So this is a very awesome knife. Check out this very cool blue twill carbon fiber material. This is made by my favorite carbon fiber guy out there right now. It's the carbon plate guy. He's the same guy that does the awesome carbon fiber you can see on my Shirogorov F3R, this copper dust. I actually have a couple of special projects with carbon plate myself for some knives that are coming up, so this is a very special knife for me to get to check out. This has all the newest Arius upgrades. It's internally milled on the titanium side. It's got the newest blue twill carbon fiber. It's got the updated clip. It's got the updated titanium screw, and it's got, I think it has 204p steel. I could be wrong. It probably is 204p. I don't have the box in front of me, but great knife. Really happy to pick this up and handle another excellent example of the Arius. Still one of my most highly recommended knives. If you want a knife in the $500 to $700 category, you will not go wrong by picking up an Arius. Very good knife. Next is sort of the Elijah Isham section. So I got to hang out with Elijah a lot during this show. He was actually the first sort of maker that I ran into at all, and he actually had this knife on him. This is the Pleroma. This is a knife made by We Knives. This is actually a, I think he did this for me in the video too, the Pleroma. He made this knife with We Knives. It's an integral knife, as you can see here. He calls this the vertebral integral, where the spine is one piece. You can see how the lock mechanism and pivot mechanism integrate into this piece and the rest of the knife as well. So it's a very unique construction. It's a thumb stud deployment. Beautiful blade. I believe it's going to be an M390 once it's ultimately released. Very useful blade shape, actually, coming from Elijah here. Very useful blade. Easy to deploy with a flick or with the studs here. Very nice sort of floating thumb stud construction there. Very neat. And beautiful carbon fiber work. So very cool. He had this as a prototype. This is his personal knife that he got to keep, and he let me borrow it. To take a look at that angle right there where you can see through the knife and the blade and everything. Very cool. He let me borrow this. So thank you, Elijah, for being very generous and letting me borrow not only this knife, but the next knife in the list here. This is something that was truly special to me. You know, Elijah has a very characteristic design that I think is best represented by the We Knives Eschaton. But before the Eschaton came out, Elijah did a collaborative piece with Robert Carter called the Blackfyre, and this is one of them. There are only two of these knives made, and both of them were at the Blade Show. It was unbelievable to me that both of the owners of these extremely obscure knives, super high-end custom knives, of which there are only two, brought them to the show. This one belongs to Elijah. He brought this. And then another guy, the other guy had his knife, and he brought it out. I'm not going to name names, but he brought it out, and we were playing with both of them. I have a video with Elijah deploying both of these at the same time with both hands at the pit, and it was just a really fun experience because I had seen this knife last year, and I had really lusted after it. And I always, oh, let me see if I can do this. Oh, it does work, yes. I always wanted to handle this. I had wanted to. I really wish that I had, because I owned the Talon at the time, and that was a Robert Carter collab. And, you know, I was just into the collaborative nature of these knives. I think he does a good job with them, and this one is very cool. It features this incredible Damascus blade, Mokume bolsters, marbled carbon fiber scales, zirconium clip and backspacer, an anodized and jeweled titanium frame. Just a very, very excellent knife. Very, very cool. And I'm going to get to bring this to you guys in full HD. I don't know if anyone has made a video on this knife. This is a very unique knife that may have gotten overlooked, the Blackfyre. In hanging out with Elijah, I actually got to hang out with my good buddy Fanatic Edge, where I picked up this knife. This is one I owned. I have a separate video of the knives that I bought. But also his friend and my friend and everyone's friend, Adam Purvis. Adam Purvis is in the knife world. He's making a lot of clips for a lot of people in Damascus, and he dreamt up the knife that he wanted. He worked with Elijah to fine-tuned the CAD work and sent it over to We Knives, and they came up with this. This is the Primordial. This is a little knife that is going to feature some M390 steel ball bearings and a very classic yet modern looking knife. It's got a slight recurve to it, a bolster design with carbon fiber inserts on the back here, a very nice clip on the back, and it's going to be a bolster lock design. So a very neat knife right here that I think is going to do pretty well. I like this knife. It's built very nicely, and Adam says there are going to be even some improvements on the production model. So I'm going to have a video on this prototype here, and we'll talk about that. Here's a knife that I'm extremely excited to talk to you about. This is unrelated to a lot of other things here, but this is a Philippe Jourget Fif 23, or FIF 23. This is a knife that I was looking at before I ever came to the show. Philippe is a French custom knife maker that I really only know through some of the other YouTubers' channels. The guy Svi has some videos on his knives. I actually met Svi at the show. Very, very cool to do that. But I also got to see Philippe's work, and this knife was a lotto piece. I entered the lotto but didn't win. This belongs to my good buddy Mike. He goes by Bloominblade on Instagram, and he was very, very generous to allow me to borrow this knife for a video, and I'm going to try to get it on camera a couple of times like I'm doing right now. What a fantastic knife. A front flipper design, S35VN, ball bearings, titanium frame lock, really liner lock, but hidden liner lock there, with bolsters, this beautiful marbled carbon fiber scale. Very smooth action. This may be the finest front flipper I've ever touched. Simply incredible. Just a wonderful piece, and very thankful to Mike for allowing me to borrow this. And the last but certainly not least piece is the CMF Metalworks Daedalus. This is a new model coming from Ian. I've featured a few of Ian's pieces recently on my channel. I've become good friends with him, and I got to meet him at the show, and he's a cool guy. I had dinner with him one night and just had an awesome time hanging out with him. Super funny guy. I want to be friends with him, and it's really cool. So this knife actually belongs to our mutual friend Josh. He goes by Echo Does Knives, and we're on the podcast together, and Josh and Ian thought it would be great if this knife could pass through the channel here and get some video time and just show off Ian's work and show off Josh's awesome addition to his collection. And what a very, very cool knife this is, with Damascus here on the front and the clip. Very beautifully done. A big recurved Tanto blade with a nice forward finger choil. Very, very smooth action, strong lockup on this frame lock. Damascus clip. Just an awesome knife in general. So these are the knives that I brought home, guys. These are the knives that have either been loaned to me or are passing through my hands. Just thank you to everyone who came to the show and was cool with me and sent these knives with me. I promise I'll get them back to you in brand new condition, and I'm going to make some great videos out of them. So tell me what you think of these knives. Tell me what you want to see and what questions you have about each one down below, and I'll try to incorporate those into the videos as we go forward. But thank you guys for watching. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Head over to Instagram, where you can follow me at Dr. Frunkey and get all the Blade Show content, as well as more pictures of these knives. And thank you guys for watching, and take care.